Well, this is African story. African story. Basically, African means generally comes from the Africa. And story. There are two things to be involved in that thing. I just twisted the word. Took the word store, and at the end I added an Y to mean a store, and also a story in reference to a building, I think. If I'm wrong, sorry about that. And to mean just a huge African mind, generally. That's what you'll be getting for me, and hopefully somehow funny that will make you guys laugh. Well, I'm an African from Africa, not Africa as a country. Okay, sorry, this is what I meant. There's an assumption that some people think Africa is a country, but Africa is not a country, it's a continent that houses other countries. Just for example, in the United States of America, it's a consortium of other states. So in Africa, we don't have that aspect of consortium that we end up using one currency and all those funny factors. Not really funny, but what makes other people have an assumption about Africa. On my part, I'll be talking about something interesting. You know, when I walk along the street, so generally where I stay, I get concerned. I don't like shaking hands with people. I'm a guy, so we just we nod the head, and in rare occasions you'll find us shaking hands. But I don't shake hands with guys who keep on smelling their fingers. It's very tricky if you decide to shake hands with a guy who keeps on smelling his fingers. I know some of you won't understand that point, but generally I know most men do understand what I mean when I say you can't greet a man who smells his own fingers. Anyway, let us now just go to the basics. I know it's late, but recently Kendrick Lamar dropped one of his albums. As usual, a lot of traction. Everybody was like, oh, whatever the case was, Kendrick is one of the best West Side products. We can't deny that. In all his respects, he's a good artist, creativity. And I would like to talk about his song, Humble. I've seen most people misinterpreting this song. This song is not the humbleness, it's not about Kendrick. Apparently, the humbleness is about whoever he was referring to this song. I don't want to be mentioning other people's names. I hardly listen to their songs, so I only say I listen to a few, and in this Kendrick Lamar happens to be one of those few artists. So that being the case, I wouldn't like to delve into the idea of discussing about another rapper. Rather, but Kendrick just meant the other artists should be humble because Kendrick is the greatest and is at the top at the rap game, or among the top in the rap game. Another important issue I'll talk about is the issue of women. Kendrick Lamar and the aspect of women, Photoshop, stretch marks. I saw there's this lady who bashed out on this issue. They took it so personal, but what I'd like to say is that I'm a young person, for example, and let's say, assuming I will be 10, I'm 10 years old, then I end up watching one of these fancy videos and I see, okay, this is how a woman looks. I have my own fantasies on how a woman looks, how a woman appears without her clothes. And then at one point in my life, I end up engaging in what people fear most, like, let's say, sexual intercourse. And then during this activity, I end up meeting a woman, an actual woman, a woman who she is as is, and not a woman who she is based on other technological advancements such as Photoshop. Upon meeting such a woman, I end up asking myself, like, oh really? So they have all these marks, and I don't mean that it's bad thing to have those marks, but you see, the perception that I'm being given creates a confusion in my mind, and out of that I end up thinking that a woman is like this and she isn't like that. So I think Kendrick Lamar had a good posture approaching this question, just stating that there is need to have some realistic content. You see, for example, look, a lady like Alicia Keys, one of the best artists on my part. I'm talking about myself. I really value Alicia Keys. She's natural. She decided, I want to empower other women. We don't have to hide on these masks. It's not about doing the makeup, but sometimes for the better part of the day, appreciate who you are. You don't have to hide. You don't have to feel uncomfortable because you don't have this product. And that's what Kendrick Lamar was bringing out. Secondly, there's a lady who questioned why Kendrick Lamar used two different women, one for the Photoshop idea and the other for stretch marks. That projects the same situation, whereby we can talk about a lady. If the first lady on the Photoshop was the same lady for the stretch marks, it would be quite not a good. It will raise a lot of backlash towards the lady, in the sense that this lady could end up receiving negative comments in the public, and these negative comments come because of the perception that we have been created with. We are not used to seeing ladies with stretch marks. We tend to see stretch marks as something weird. So it's an advancement of thought. Rather than thinking Kendrick Lamar is trying to control the mindset of women, he's just trying to bring sanity back to this world. Let us have reality. You see, we don't have to live in a all full virtual world. Yeah. And for today, I think that's enough. We shall be meeting, I think, on a weekly basis. We shall be talking about music. We shall talk about social issues that affect a majority of us, the youth, the teenagers, sometimes political, but for political we shall make it a little bit comic so that we don't spur some negative energy from individuals who are just ready to vent. They have been waiting for this moment. Anyway, I thank you for listening. As you know, it is African Story. See you back again.